2 weeks ago, we had a storytelling about two of your books, The Curious Garden, your best-selling title, and Children Make Terrible Pets, and children love them. And I'd just like to ask you how you came up with the idea for The Curious Garden, because I think it had a very important message for children.
Yeah, well, The Curious Garden is loosely inspired by a real place in New York City, where I live. I live in New York City, and there's a place there called the High Line, which is this elevated railway that has been completely overgrown with wildflowers and trees and plants and things. And I discovered it shortly after moving to New York. And I was inspired by the idea that beautiful wilderness and nature could grow spontaneously on top of a man-made structure in the middle of an industrial park of New York City. I thought there was something really beautiful about that. And it got me thinking about the relationship between nature and urban environments and people, and I couldn't stop thinking about it and drawing pictures of buildings with flowers growing on them, and old abandoned vehicles with, weeds growing out of them, and before long I'd come up with an idea for a story about a city that transforms from a gray, dreary place into a beautiful sort of garden city, thanks to the help of the people who live there, and especially one particular person.
So actually, you are the little boy in the story.
I am, although I have never done what he did in the story. But yeah.
I think it's a great story because it just shows how one person's effort can make such a big difference.
Sure.
So yeah, on the day of the storytelling, I think the parents, they really felt that they learned something and they talked about it to the children about it. And I think it's very important for the children to learn at a very young age. And if they continue to do that, the world will be very much different.
Yeah, sure.
And I just love your illustration so much. I always want to ask you, did you start drawing at a very young age?
Well, yes. I think, like most children, I loved to draw when I was young, and I guess I just never stopped. I think every child is born an artist, and for one reason or another, everybody stops making art at some point, except for those of us who go on to become artists. And yeah, so I've been drawing as long as I can remember.
I suppose the matter of whether they're bringing that part of potential or not.
Yeah, well, not everybody is meant to grow up to be an artist, but I think I think it's a little unfortunate how many people abandon all of their creativity completely because, for whatever their reason is. I think we're all creative in one way or another, except many of us don't allow ourselves to be creative. So I'm fortunate that I have made a career out of being creative. It's my favorite thing to do. Yeah, well, I've worked very hard, obviously, but I am also lucky. Yeah.
Talking about creativity, I always feel that in a city like Hong Kong, a lot of parents, they spend so much time telling the children that they have to learn, the more the better at a very young age, from books.
Yeah.
And the more words, the better, basically.
Yeah.
So as a bookseller, we are trying to, and also as the manager of a reading club, we have been trying to introduce picture books to all parents and children. But it's just that a lot of them think that learning more words is more important than pictures.
Yeah.
So can you just tell the parents out there the importance of learning from picture books?
Yeah, well, let's see. There's this expression that a picture is worth 1,000 words. We use that in America, anyway. And so I like to think of my books, my picture books, usually have 32 pages, and there are 32 illustrations, 32 pictures. And if each picture is worth 1,000 words, I like to tell people that my stories have over 32,000 words in them. Because I encountered the same thing in the United States, where some parents are eager for their kids to move on to more advanced books. But what I think a lot of them don't realize is that there is learning that happens when a child reads a picture book that is impossible with any other medium. Especially with younger kids, they're associating images with words. They're even wordless picture books have a real value. They can tell incredible stories. And in today's world, where so much of our life is involved with visual technology, whether it be tablets or the internet, you know, we're becoming an increasingly visual society, actually, which is, I think, a good thing. And I think it's more important than ever that people are visually literate, and that can begin at a young age with kids who become fluent in the language of pictures. So I think when parents deny their kids that experience, they're setting them at actually a disadvantage down the road, because they'll be less able to talk comfortably about images and pictures, and they'll be less able to be observant. You know, I mean, a lot of exploration happens in the picture book. The child pores over the illustrations and looks at all the details. I mean, that's an important developmental moment for a child. And so when they don't have that moment, then all of a sudden I feel like they become less observant of the world in general. So there are a lot of reasons why picture books are important. The most important, of course, is to create an experience where children fall in love with books and reading. And I think picture books provide a unique opportunity for children to really connect with a physical book and love books and love reading, and that can translate into a love of learning, like no other experience.
I can't agree with you more. And coming from you is so much better. I just hope the parents will think about this and just do what you suggested. And I just wonder whether you can draw something for club members to demonstrate how you draw.
Sure. Why don't I do a drawing? Let's see.
We're going to put in our newsletter for everyone to see.
Yeah. So it better be good.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone of your drawing, I like having their drawing.
All right. So I'll do a drawing of.
The railway track from the Curious Garden.
It is.